Okay, here we are again, guys, back on Zwift, back tour to Zwift. We'll be doing the race for stage 5 today, Ocean Lava Cliffside Loops. It's 19 kilometers and 146 meters of elevation. Not a whole lot of climbing in the first half, just some little bumps and maybe a split on that bump before the big climb. The big climb I think is about 100 total meters, so shouldn't be too bad. We'll do a full review of the course, so we'll see how it goes for the race. On me, I'm feeling a little tight, that's for sure. Just not riding all week last week, and then riding Saturday for a race, and then Sunday I did the double A and B courses to get them done. So yeah, definitely feeling a little tight, but we'll see. We'll push through it. We'll get a good workout in and take a day off tomorrow. Probably be back on Wednesday. So today is Monday here in Colorado. Decent group here, 37 right now in the pen, so should be pretty fast. We'll see. Still, I think I'm 140th, somewhere in there in the GC. But let's get it. Here we go. Probably won't do a whole lot of talking. I'm sure I'm going to be working. So we'll mute you. I will do voiceover though. Okay, well, with as in every Zwift race, it started off pretty fast, and we're staying pretty fast here. So I had some hope for it being a Monday race, pretty early in the day. I cut out of work early to come home and just get away from work for a little bit, as well as get in an early Monday race. So the intention was to find a fast group, and I feel like we're starting out pretty fast here for Cat B. But you'll see coming up, kind of slows up. We have a couple people try to break away here and there, but I don't know. It almost feels like there's a little bit of hurry up and wait until the hill type of attitude with the whole group. But we'll keep on watching here, and we'll talk through some of the points of the race as some interesting things happen. So stick around. Yeah, you can see that we've really backed off the power here. Nobody really is wanting to do any work. Kind of what I was talking about a minute ago is it just seemed like nobody wanted to do much right here, and everybody bunches up. And I was really kind of anticipating, you know, a flyer coming from the back just to come flying through, and I was kind of looking for it. I kind of wanted to jump on some sort of move like that. I didn't think I had the legs for it. They were pretty sore just during the warm-up from the last couple days of riding. So I'm just hanging on right here, checking things out, seeing what's gonna happen through the rest of this race. Yeah, so here we are leading into this little roller step up um, before a downhill into the the main feature of this ride. And I was anticipating that somebody may take a kind of a flyer up off of this hill. But at this point, I'm kind of thinking that, yeah, maybe not. Maybe everybody's going to stick together. We'll see what happens as we kind of crest this little bump. And you can see up the road there, somebody did. They really put down the power to try to establish a gap on the group, and they got it. So I was again thinking that, well, it's a solo rider, they won't last. But I do pop my anvil here. I'm up at 169 beats per minute, and I was thinking, well, let's try to recover down this hill. I'll tell you, that was a mistake. If you roll the anvil, there's only one power up in the whole ride. So if you get the anvil, hang on to that thing until you get over the big hill. If you're fortunate enough to draw a feather, well then great, you'll use it on the lower side of the hill where it's the steepest. Because once you go over that steep section, it's really pretty fast and pedalable. It's only 2%, 3%, somewhere in there once you get past the initial steep part. But yeah, you can see on the top right there, the solo breakaways really got a nice gap, and it looks like some people are going to try to chase, but they don't ever catch them, and I knew I didn't have the legs to try to jump across. Yeah, now we're all just bunched up here. Nobody wanting to work, nobody wanting to chase that guy, and thinking like, man, this breakaway might make it. It's not very often a breakaway that starts with 12 and a half, 13K to go. It's not very often that makes it. So I was kind of watching the map in the top right, thinking, wondering if he's going to hit the hill and be able to come across the finish line, solo.
Right on!
Yeah, and at this point, I'm just thinking, well, sit in the back and take as much draft as you can to have as much energy to get up the hill as it possibly can. So I just sitting in here and trying to recover and get back to a good heart rate and feeling good and clear some of the lactate from the initial start. And I'd say, as you approach this hill, through, through this flat section right before it, put down some power and get a real run at this. I kind of did, but you can see I put down enough to kind of pull through to the front. But then I settle into like 4 watts kilo, 3.8, and that was not enough in this race. This is where the split happens. We end up just strung out all over the first part of this hill, and I just don't have it in me today to stay up there with that lead group, and I end up falling back pretty far. And then you can see the breakaway is definitely getting caught. Yeah, right here I was really hurting. I was 175, 176 beats and just not feeling it, that's for sure. So I thought at this point I'll just drop down and zone 2 all the way home. But I didn't, never quit, right? Never quit, never surrender. So I just keep on the power, and we'll do everything I can do to finish strong and finish as high as I can in the race. And I noticed there's a split behind me and really in front of me. So I kind of have a decision to make here. Is do I sit up and wait for the group behind, or do I make a push to try to connect with a few riders in front of me? And I decide to, it mellows out, and I'm not a light rider by any stretch. I'm 80 kg, so I'm not light. I've definitely got some weight to lose. I'm hoping to lose 5 kg by the time summer gets here. But yeah, when this 3% grade is pretty good for me. I can stay on the power right around 4 watts per kg, and I'm watching the power of the people ahead of me, and they're all doing just a little bit less. So I think that there's a good chance that I'll be able to connect with them and at least have a little group together to try to catch some other riders ahead of us on either downhill or the flat leading into the finish. So I push on here. Right there, I make the catch of the first rider that had a gap on me, and I just decide to keep on pushing through. Let's try to pull everybody up here together. So I stay on the power a little bit. And here I'm just kind of watching the group, taking a break since I made the catch on them. Just kind of trying to drop the heart rate down a little bit before I make my next push, because I think at this point there's a real opportunity to catch a few more riders ahead of us.
enjoy the view, taking a picture like Malibu. I'ma have you on tiptoes, watching my diamond afterglow. I know
The way I was looking at this is just to, you know, get out in front, pull 4 watts, maybe 4.2 watts, you know, for 30 seconds, and then filter back in and let somebody else pull. Didn't seem like anybody else really wanted to pull, you know, that high. They'd get out in front and pull 3.8, and then there's even a couple of riders that didn't really pull much at all. I will say kudos to the rider out front right now in our group. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. It's F. Migawari or something. I don't know. But he wanted to pull. I could tell that. So you'll see over the next couple kilometers that he'll pull pretty hard, and then I'll get out in front and pull pretty hard. And a couple of the other folks will pull, like I said, 3.5, 3.6. And there's one rider who never pulls. Well, maybe once, but when he does, he just drops off the power. Yeah, and there goes that Mima Jawari again pulling. So it really seems to be him and I just trying to bring back the riders right in front of us. And I'm watching the power of those guys. I know the group ahead of that group is probably impossible to catch. They got 30 seconds on us right now, and the group right in front of us is only 6. So there's some incentive to try to bridge that gap up to that 6-second group. Here we go. I'm taking a pretty hard pull here. I know that group ahead is definitely within reach. If we can stay motivated, we'll catch them. That C. Uhi, he takes a real hard pull here. Much appreciated there, man. There you have it. The catch is made. We caught these 3 riders, so we're a little bigger group now. I just blow right past them, wondering if maybe we can just create some separation from them. but they must step on it because they just hang on with our group here. There you have it. It's 44 seconds to the group ahead of us and 30 seconds to the group behind us. So all the motivation leaves the group to do much work, and we'll go back to just kind of hanging out, spinning the legs here, because nobody really wants to pull, which I get. We're not going to catch that group ahead. There are, I think that's all the lead group. So there isn't much hope there to catch them. They're going to be charging pretty hard, and then the group behind us, they seem to be motivated. I keep watching the power of whoever's out in front of the group behind us, and they're motivated. I think they have a shot at catching this group that I'm in. Yeah, and at this point, I'm just kind of back here scheming up a plan to break away from this group that isn't trying to do anything. And I'm deciding when the right time to go past them is. So I'm just hanging back, trying to hold the draft a little bit, and make a decision on when am I gonna go. And I notice the rider in the front of the group starts going, so I figured, well, we're moving pretty fast here. Probably not the best time to try to break away from them, but there I go. I put the power down, and I want to snap any draft benefit that they can have, so I put the power down to make sure I create enough separation for that. And at this point, I'm thinking, just push that 3.5 to 4.2 watts per kg to try to stay away from them, get up over the hill. You can see I dive the inside here to make sure that they can't draft. Yeah, and right there, I thought, I got, 1 second gap, and the guy behind me is doing 2.2 watts, and I'm up here doing, 3.5 or 4. Come up the hill here, put down a little bit more power, and at this point I think, oh shoot, this might work. I might be able to hang on to this little break here. There's only a little over a kilometer to go, so I kind of stay on the power here to pick up speed, hoping that maybe they let off as they crest the hill. Yeah, and this Berghardt comes by, and I almost sat up, and I thought, no, maybe him and I can establish the break, just the two of us. So I get back on it here and try to try to make the catch and hopefully pull by and give him a little draft, a little reprieve. Maybe we can stay away, but definitely the people behind us are motivated to try to catch us. You can see there, the guy right behind me was doing 5.5 watts. Yep, now I'm caught by the whole group after just putting out more of an effort than I should have for the last 1.5K. Now I'm looking at the sprint thinking, what am I going to do? So here we go. Everybody pretty much started sprinting right at the same time. Maybe I had a little jump on them. And right here, I'm giving her all I got, but I sure don't have it all right now. That was the end of it there. 25th for me. Not bad, you know. It's a fun course. You know, with the little bumps that are there. You know, my recommendation is just hang with the top, conserve everything you can conserve all the way to the base of that hill, and then hit that first part of the hill as hard as you can to stay with the lead group. If you can stay with that lead group till the steep part is over and you get to where it mellows out to that 2 or 3% grade, then speeds increase and draft means more. So if you can get there, I think you can really hang on.
Well, that was hard. Well, fun race. 3.2 average. I guess not bad, considering we were just milking it for a lot of it. I have a feeling overall probably pretty slow group. We'll see. 28:55. We'll see what the other B riders are doing. Just felt like there was a lot of noodling going on. Nobody wanted to chase that guy who broke away before the big hill, so nobody wanted to chase him, which generally is okay. I'm okay with that. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, that hill broke me. See how I feel later in the week. Maybe I'll try a race again. Well, I feel like I worked though. Whew. All right. Well, that was it. That was stage 5 race. Tour de Zwift. Fit for 40 Velo. Stick around.